Welcome back, future filmmakers, to another video. Today, we're teaching you how to make a decent Spider-Man fan film, so I had to consult an expert.
Hey guys, Spider-Man here. Just joking, it's me. My name is Noah Berg. Along with my partner, director Ryan Johnson, we've made about 3 episodes of a series called Spider Kid. So we're gonna give you some tips on what we learned throughout those 3 episodes, and hopefully they can help you improve yours. Hey, you watching? Don't skip this video, because at the end we're actually going to show you how to make a realistic fight scene. So stick around for that.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Buddy Films director Ryan Johnson. I'm here with Buddy Films director Noah Berg. Probably the first thing is you need to have a good story. You need to keep it original. Don't have your generic Spider-Man, same backstory as always, and then fight the Green Goblin 15 minutes later. Nobody wants to see that. We've seen it 100 times. Have a good character with good motivations and throw something original in there. Me and Noah made a series called Spider Kid, where we took kind of the classic Peter Parker thing and flipped it on its head, where he had his parents die and all that, but he was much younger and he was a different character and he had a lot of different situations. So it was less of a Spider-Man and more of a Spider-Man concept. So you can take that and kind of run with it. And really just be original. That's the main thing, is just be original.
So a big thing about especially filming a Spider-Man film is you're going to be doing some visual effects, and one of the biggest things Ryan and I took note of was a lot of fan films, they'll do special effects that they can't do and they look really bad. Trying to do some over-the-top swinging scene and it ends up just being like a JPEG image of him swinging through like a JPEG background. It doesn't look good. So what we did particularly is we wanted our Spider-Man to feel real, and that's why we, instead of like having an actual Spider-Man suit and copying Spider-Man, we actually made a suit that 100% anyone could make, because we did it without the help of any special technology or like some fancy stuff like you see in the newer ones. It was any kid could put this together in high school. So with that being said, with grounding this idea of a realistic Spider-Man that you feel is real, the special effects have to feel real. So particularly for one scene, actually right over here, there's a fight scene and my character jumps and sticks to the wall. And this special effect is actually really simple. You take a blank shot, and after you got your blank shot, you do another shot, and we had a little rope attached to me, and I stick to the wall, and then I jump off, and in post, you take the rope out. And 100%, all the other ones I've seen, they'll take a green screen and have them like crawling all around it. It looks awful, but yet this was literally practical. The only thing we had to do is take out a rope. And I got so many comments just saying like, this is one of the best special effects we've seen. It's because we didn't overdo it. We stuck within our boundaries, we knew our limits, and when you do things practically and you set up right, it's gonna look better than if you do something you can't do. And I'm not saying don't try to over-exceed yourself, because you can ask Ryan and I, we're constantly trying to do better, but if we do something and it doesn't look good, it's better to find something else. Like we have a scene where Spider-Man climbs up a wall, we just did that with a rope rig. Particular web shooting scenes, for a lot of them, we had used a CGI web and then we'll switch straight to a practical, because we know it's going to look bad if you're trying to motion track this web. So a lot of the stuff we actually do is practical. There's a scene where Spider-Man actually picks up and throws somebody into a wall. For that, we made a stunt dummy, and that cost what, like 20 bucks? It was made out of duct tape. Yeah, if that. And it looked real instead of like, CGIing throwing some guys. So that's the biggest thing that we took in mind, is making it look real, and I'm actually really proud of it, because that's one thing out of all of our films we've done so far is the special effects don't look bad. If you do something similar like that, you're on a pretty right track.
I ought to make an example of you. What should I start with first? Your arms or your legs?
The next part is cinematography, which you could have the best fight scene ever, but if the cinematography is bad, it's over. And in fact, cinematography is the most important part just with sound. You could have a good story, but if you don't have good angles to display it, it's gonna be bad, because when you film a particular scene, you're using these angles to convey a certain emotion in your audience. Like with Luke's death scene, the way it's filmed, it's gonna convey a certain emotion. And also, of course, it's gonna look a lot more professional. If you just took a camera and just filmed a wide shot and filmed any scene, it's gonna look bad. So it's best, to take your time. Ryan and I we have shot lists, and we'll spend days, hours, just pre-planning, weeks, every single little shot, and it's gonna make it look a lot better. Cinematography, I can't stress it enough, is the most important part of your film. Before you even work on special effects, after you get your story, plan your cinematography, because if you have good cinematography, it's going to impress people. There's no doubt about it. Second is sound. Most people will actually agree, they did a study on this, most people would rather have lower quality video and higher quality sound. And it's true, sound is everything. You could have a great video of Spider-Man doing a fight scene, but if there's no cool sound effects and no music, it's gonna be stale, it's gonna be boring, and no one's gonna like it. So besides cinematography, sound is everything, and I can't stress that enough. The web shooter sounds, I'm talking when we have fight scenes and we're fighting and I go to kick, we actually have a sound of the pants moving in there. Whether or not you notice it or not, it's there and your brain recognizes that. So my biggest advice is don't just go in it's just like, oh, I want to make a Spider-Man fan film. If you've never filmed anything before and you just want to make a Spider-Man fan film as you're a fan, go into this as, I'm going to be a filmmaker. If I was going to make an actual movie that wasn't a Spider-Man movie, how would I approach it and then implement it into your film? Because it's going to make it stand out.
He's gonna kill himself one day. It's gonna happen. I swear. It's gonna happen.
Jonathan, I can hear you right.
I know! And the fifth and final thing is good fight choreography. The three basics in order of most important to least important is camera angles and technique. So if I'm talking about technique, obviously, we're talking about how we're actually fighting, okay? The script calls for me to be like a skilled fighter. And me as an actor, I don't know how to fight. Okay, if I come out here, I'm supposed to be a special forces agent, and I start doing this. It's gonna look so really bad. Yeah, it just it's gonna look terrible. Not that everybody needs to be a world-class martial artist, but like
basic technique.
Boxing tutorials on YouTube, simple things. How to throw, just basic punches. You don't have to be like a world champion boxer or anything like that, but just how mechanics work, how to throw so you don't look like wine moms boxing. But anyway, second is camera angles, and this is a big one too, because you can have the best choreography ever, but if the camera angle's wrong, it's gonna clearly look fake. So take for example this. If I'm throwing a jab at Noah from this distance, okay, and this is gonna be the same.
That's the camera angle.
Yes, this is the camera angle from the wide shot. If I throw this jab,
it's obvious.
Even if he sells it, like throw your head back when it comes, boom. Even if he sells it, it's clearly not landing. However, if we do it from right here, so do the same thing, boom. You can't tell the distance of how far I am away. I'm 6 inches away from his head, but you can't tell that.
Ryan's full extent couldn't even hit
me.
Ryan can do it as hard as, do it as fast as you
Exactly, I'm gonna do like one of these, ready? Boom, yeah.
And you would never be able to tell.
Never
it's
be able
all about
to
the
tell.
angle.
It is all about.
Both have to be good. You have to have the two.
You gotta have
There's no
good
way around
technique and good camera angles to make this work. The second thing is acting. You have to have good acting, because we can do the best choreography you've ever come up with, but if I'm doing this with just like a blank expression, you're not gonna believe that I'm actually fighting. You can have like some of the worst, you can have pretty bad technique if the scene calls for that. Like, a high schooler fight in like a hallway. Obviously they're not gonna be out here slipping and ripping punches, throwing, spin kicks and stuff like that. But like you believe it because they're acting. You like fighting brings something out of people, and you have to show that intensity, you know what I mean? And the third one is context. Why are we fighting? That's the big thing, because fighting for no reason doesn't do anything. It doesn't propel the story any further. Also, like how you're fighting. Take for example, we go to the two high schoolers in the hallway. Does it make sense for one of them just to out of nowhere throw a spin kick? It does, unless the story calls for that. But on the basics, not typically. So those are kind of the three basic things. If you stick to those, it's really hard to mess up a fight scene. So that's pretty much it.
So anyway, guys, with all that being said, it's your turn to make it happen. You got to keep going. Don't let other people put you down. And the best part about filmmaking is, you know, you do it because you love it. And truth be told, we wouldn't do anything else because that's what we're pursuing full time. So if we can do it, because trust me, I didn't think we could get this far. You definitely can too. So don't give up, guys. Appreciate for letting us on this channel, and be sure to check out our other stuff.
Now I need to take a quick second to pause right there and thank the 3 amazing YouTube channels who helped make this episode possible. First, Buddy Films Productions has their own YouTube channel where they create high quality short films and they do some practical effects demonstrations. They have lots more content planned in the future, so be sure to check them out there. Noah also has a whole nother YouTube channel dedicated to all his Spider-Man content, and that is where they release their 3-part series of Spider-Kid. If you guys have not seen this, you have to go watch it. For a filmmaker alone, it is just so cool to see how their filmmaking ability evolves over the course of this 3-part series. Lastly, I'd like to thank the YouTube channel 6 Side Studios for allowing us to use a little bit of their old films in this episode. 6 Side Studios has been creating Spider-Man fan films for 7 years. So you can witness the evolution of his filmmaking as well by watching some of his old films from 7 years ago and seeing how they progress. He has a film coming soon, The Final Swing, and he would really appreciate it if you subscribe so that you do not miss the release of that film. A link to all their YouTube channels is in the description below, as well as a link to donate to Future FilmMakers' coming Spider-Man fan film, which we will create in the coming few years. So we would love any support that you guys are willing to give, but let's get back to the video.
Make sure to subscribe to Hannah. So, yeah.
Buddy Films Director's out.
Out.
That was a really
Delete that.
Yeah,
We have to redo the whole thing.
Noah, focus. Oh my lord, I really need, like, I don't know, a chiropractor. Okay, and action. I'm so old. Welcome back, Spider-Man.
So I guess since I'm the one mic'd up, keep your mouth shut, son, because
Unless you do something stupid.
cut it. Because it's so
That's wrong.
okay.
Just try to do it backwards.
I need to be like. Okay. No.
Choreography. Why can't I pronounce that?
Realistic.
Oh my god! He won't skip!
You know, you press start playing, it's just like a random beat twist, he's like. The bystander's like, yeah, that's cool.
I'm sorry. We do this all the time and it's bad because we're trying to be professional.
I think I like